Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and today we're looking at the Bulova Oceanographer Devil Diver. The price for this watch on the Bulova website is $750, but it's currently discounted to $510. Not sure if that's a limited time deal or what's going on with that, but if you want to buy this watch, head over to the website and you can buy it for $510. Model number for this is the 96 B350, which you can see on the case back here. Right there. Let's rotate it around. (96B350). Not sure what that C8771715 is, perhaps a serial number. But let's read the rest of the information. Sapphire crystal, stainless steel case and case back. Bulova, of course. Diver's watch, 200 meter. So 200 meters is 660 feet, but Bulova gives you that extra 6 feet with this watch here for 666 feet of water resistance, hence the nickname, or perhaps the actual name, Devil Diver. I'll leave a link in the description to the website. My camera, at least through this screen here, is not doing the dial justice. This orange is an amazing color orange. It's like a fluorescent orange. It looks a little more orangish on the screen, I guess, but by eye, this is just a crazy color orange. I really like this dial. I really like this color. The watch, I don't know. It's different. I'll give it that. It's styled after the watch that came out in the early 60s, and this watch was around from the early 60s through the 70s. So very much styled after that original watch. And you can see on the crown here, it is engraved with Bulova, potato, however you want to say it. There we go. Let me try to zoom in on that. Maybe it'll focus a little better. There we go. So highly polished case. Polishing everywhere. Really no brushing to speak of. And you can see the indices here are these little plastic cylinders set on the dial with these metal prongs. Kind of reminds me of a diamond jewelry. I've not seen the lume on this myself, so looking forward to checking that out towards the end of the video. See, the lume on the hands looks kind of patina colored. And also you can see that date. I don't know if I'd call it a date magnifier. Let me move this hand and you'll see what I'm talking about. I really don't see much zoom to this. Much magnification, I should say. If you look at this handset, just a minute hand here, it may look slightly larger, but there's really not much magnification to that. But anyway, the cool thing about that is it's cut in from the underside of the crystal, or maybe something applied to that. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I know it's not on the top like you would typically see on a Rolex Cyclops. So that's a neat feature. Oh, actually, so with this movement, it's the 821D Miyota 821D movement. In case you didn't know, Bulova is owned by Citizen, which also owns Miyota. So this has the Miyota movement. First position, we have hand winding. It is a screw down crown, which gives you that 200 meter water resistance. Second position here is for, wrong one. There we go. Guess I'm in date set now. There we go. This is hand winding. Next one out, date set. There we go. And then all the way out is for time set. And as you notice, the second hand is still moving. So this movement does not have hacking, but some of the 821 movements, 821D movements do have hacking, depending on how new the movement is. So this must be an older movement. However, you can kind of hack the second hand if you hold the crown in the reverse just a little bit. Doesn't take much. You can stop that second hand. I don't know if that's bad for the movement. I couldn't figure that out, but If you want to hack, I guess you can do that. But if you're afraid of ruining the movement, don't do it. So let's screw the crown back in. The bezel on this looks like sapphire, but it's actually an acrylic crystal set on top of that bezel. I would appreciate it, or I'd like it more if it was sapphire, but it's not. So if this was a micro brand watch, I'm sure you get a lot more for your $510 or $750. So this watch was released on January 21st, 2021. 316L stainless steel. And this is a rubber strap. So this strap is a nice quality feel to it. It doesn't feel at all like silicone. Ever since experiencing rubber straps myself or FKM rubber, I just can't go back to silicone. There's something about rubber that's better feeling here. So double dome sapphire box crystal. So it gives you that plexiglass look. So this movement has 21 joules, 42-hour power reserve. And as I mentioned, the hacking feature is present on the new movements, but the little bit older ones, or the older ones, that will not have hacking. So kind of luck of the draw there when you purchase the watch. It does have a signed clasp, and this is a milled clasp in the milled tang here. So nicely done. Strap's made to look like it's stitched, but it's not. So it really is a nice quality strap. That felt very comfortable on wrist when I've had it on wrist here. So someone else pointed out in my unboxing that there's quite a large cutout here for removing the spring bars. It doesn't make the strap any more loose or ill-fitting or anything. It just aids in changing out these rubber straps, which I've not done myself. So let's talk about the dimensions. We're looking at 45.3, so it is a pretty short lug to lug actually. I'll show it next to my SKX here in a minute. The diameter on it is 41. The bezel is a little bit smaller than the case. I measured the bezel at 40.5. The case, according to the website, is 41, and I was able to get that measurement. It's not really all that easy to get a precise measurement on the case, but I came to 41 as well. Thickness on this thing, it's really quite thick at 14.8 millimeter thick. So if you like a thick watch, this could be the watch for you. One of my complaints about this watch is the lug width is 19. At first I thought it was originally 18. The strap seems too narrow for this watch case. I would prefer perhaps 22 millimeter or at least 20 millimeter lug width. This does taper down to 18 though. It's probably, I guess you can see a little bit. There's a bit of a bulge here and then it tapers down. And the crown size on this, maybe a little small at 5.9 millimeter, but it's not terribly small. It fits that case pretty well, this mid case here. So let's look at it next to one of my favorite watches, the Seiko SKX. Pretty similar size and shape. Just the lug's a little weird here because it's narrow compared to the SKX. Yeah, this is 22, but 3 millimeter wider than this strap here. The thickness, the Devil Diver is actually a little bit thicker than the SKX, which is kind of amazing to me because the SKX is a pretty thick watch already. Although it doesn't really look that much thicker here. I'm assuming that's due to that sapphire crystal, the box dome sapphire crystal. And then the crown size on the SKX is 7, which I think is a great size. All right, let me get this on wrist. At this level here, this zoom. Actually, we'll compare it to this one real quick since I have it on wrist. These watches existed at the same time back in the 60s. Right, this one came out in 1953. I'm curious what the prices of these would have been back then, if they were comparable or not. I don't know. Anyway, let's set this off to the side over here. We'll put the Devil Diver on wrist. This one thing about FKM rubber is the keeper is a little hard to move around, but it's not a big deal. And you don't necessarily need to have a slot cut in here to keep the strap in the keeper, because they seem to keep pretty well. So I do like having the rubber keepers in addition to the rubber strap, as opposed to a metal keeper. I don't really understand the point of that. But anyway, I think I'm at the last hole position there. Hopefully you can see that. And here it is on my wrist. This color, I really like this color. I'm really tempted to buy one of these just for that dial itself. The rest of the watch and the movement, I don't know, kind of a letdown, I guess. Bezel action's very good. No complaints there. It does have that plastic bezel insert. I don't know, maybe the crystal in the edge of the bezel would help prevent scratching on that, but I'm not really sure there. All right, we'll zoom out here and then we'll check out the Lume. So let me know your thoughts about this watch. Also, if you could subscribe if you have not already, I greatly appreciate it. Leave a comment, like the video. Keep looking at it by eye as compared to what's on the camera, but well, hopefully your screen can show the true color of this dial. Or go check one out at your local AD. All right, let's pause the video here and we'll take a quick look at the Lume. All right, so Submariner on the left, Devil Diver, of course, in the middle, and the SKX on the right. Devil Diver Lume is dying down pretty quickly here, but looking at it by eye, I would have to give it to the SKX, I guess. And this Devil Diver's kind of pushed off the table a little bit because of the rubber straps. But anyway, here you go. I mean, the Lume it's not bad. I would be happy with this Lume. Looks to be about the same brightness as the Submariner. If the indices were larger on this Devil Diver, it would show up a little brighter. But this does have those plastic cylinders on there too. I'm going to hit this with the UV light again and show you guys this orange dial. It's crazy looking when you hit it with the UV light. And then I'll try and hold it up to the camera and get a closer look at those indices. Hopefully you guys can see that by eye. This thing, it looks radioactive. It's really neat to look at with the UV light. So, all right, let's bring this up to the camera. I don't know if you're gonna see. Yeah, you can kind of see those cylinders here. So that gives it a neat 3D effect. So it's a very cool watch. I've enjoyed my time with it. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for watching. And I'll catch you on the next video.